in that song. And let's begin with that. Yes, the floor is open for that. I gave you an assignment for you to research about traditional songs, and then the moral values there in, and why is it considered a source of morality for African traditional believers. Yes, yes, hello. Uh, Yes, Pat.
Yes, sir. So, 5 examples of traditional songs and their moral values in them. Number 1 is Ayelevi, which is an Ewe lullaby. Moral values in it is love and care for children. It's sung by mothers to their babies. It expresses affection, protection, and responsibility.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've highlighted the moral values therein, and we all agree to the fact that this is um a lullaby as she mentioned, and then some of you are joining for the first time. I'm asking them to present an assignment I gave them orally. They are orally presenting an assignment I gave them, and that's what she just mentioned hers, and then she said that she mentioned the moral values therein. We are going to begin Unit 3 today, and then that assignment I gave was at the end of Unit 2. So apart from her, those who were in class, yes, mention yours and the moral values therein. Yes. Hello. Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Those who are in class, yes, those who are in class. Have you guys been introduced to the code campus smart something? Where is it? Have you been introduced to the code smart campus platform, online platform? Please mute yourselves if you are not addressing the class. Please mute yourselves if you are not addressing the class. Thank you. Please mute yourself. Madam Angelina. Madam Angelina, please mute your. Yes, thank you. All right. So, Madam Angelina is still on. All right. All right. Thank you. So I'm still taking the feedback on the assignment you were given.
All right, sir.
Okay. Welcome.
Sir, I want to present. This is Francis. I want to present my feedback on the assignment you gave me.
Yes.
First of all, before we could get the songs, you just we have to understand that the traditional songs, they are community passed music that represent cultural heritage and then history as well. So I'm just going to say about I'm going to present on just 3 songs, Okay. And so one of the songs that we'll be using most of our time is Sansan Chroma. If people all remember this.
Please mute yourselves if you are not presenting and allow the one presenting to only have the floor. Thank you. Yes.
So the song called Sansan Chroma is a song normally used in a story. So it is based on it talks about a hawk and a hen, and then the relationship between the hawk and the hen. And at the end of the day, the hawk wanted to create his own drums, and then he asked of tools from the hen, and then the hen couldn't supply give him give the hawk the tools. And at the end of the day, the hen went to play the beat or the drums of the hawk, and then it resulted to something else. So from friends, they became enemies at the end. So whenever we give this story or we tell the story of the hawk and the hen to kids or to children, there is this moral lesson that we get from it. And then one of the moral lessons that we get from it is to be accountable of our mistakes. We should have this spirit of accountability. That is to own up to our own mistakes and then to accept the fact that we have wronged, and so we should ask for forgiveness. So when you take the part of the story, you realize that the hen was caught when he was playing the drums, and then he should have accountable for his mistakes, but he didn't, and then that resulted to them being enemies. Also, it teaches us that we shouldn't be selfish, or we shouldn't relay selfish behavior, because when you take the story as a whole, if the hen should have given the tools or should have helped the hog with the tools, and that means that everything would have been in order. You would have had a chance to play the drums, and the hog would have also had a chance to play the drums, and it should have resulted into friendship, not enemies. And then also one thing that we have to learn from this is to have what you call foresight and wisdom. So when we talk about the foresight and wisdom, we are talking about advanced planning.
Good.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening.
We are talking about advanced planning. So that happens in the case of the hawk. If the hawk had knew he had wanted to, or when the hawk had the idea of preparing the drums, he had already made plans and then went ahead to get some tools ready for the drums. But because he didn't do that, so it resulted into him going to ask his friend, which his friend also denied him of the tools. So that is these are some of the moral lessons under the Sansakroma. Then I will talk about the song called Yenya Beko. It is a song used for hunters.
Yeah.
So in the olden days, when there is war, or when there was war between the ethnic groups, they brought about, or they created this song to motivate them and then to show strength and then bravery. So these are some of the, let me say, 2 or 3 of the moral values or moral lessons that we get from the song. So it's being used by hunters to strengthen themselves in a state of predicament and then something like that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. Thank you so much. That's a great and a detailed presentation given to us. Is there any other person who want to share his or her view, what he came up with, or I should start mentioning names? Dominic.
Okay, so
Dominic.
yes, good morning.
Yes.
Please, with my finding, I'll be looking at one song which is commonly known in the Ashanti, which is the Okoyeku, a song which is sung to remember the exploits of Yasantua and her bravery towards the war against the British.
Okay.
Now, with this song, it is showing us courage and bravery, because with Yasantua, when no male was willing to go for the war, she showed bravery and courage by leading them to the war, and it also shows leadership and responsibility, as Yasan took responsibility to fight during the war. And another one I'll be looking at is Ghana Niba song,
Ghana. Yes.
which is one song which it is a traditional song which shows patriotism.
Okay.
So that's a little bit.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for also giving us a detailed research. Because of time, the rest, you guys are still saying you've not been introduced to the Code Smart Campus platform. I'm sure with time it will be mounted there. You'll be introduced, and the moment you are introduced, I'll upload certain assignments there for you to look at and then work on them. So those who didn't present DS orally and chose to keep quiet, you have no option but to go there and then present it there. All right. So now please mute your microphones, please. Hello, hello. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes, please, one after the other. Manuel, you have the floor.
Sir, please.
Manuel, yes.
As an assignment to search for the committee that recommended the religious and moral education. So I don't know when.
Good. So because of time, I'll take these oral answers at the end of the lecture. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Today we are supposed to. Pardon me.
Religious committee.
Okay. So I'll take the answers, and today we are supposed to finish with Unit 3, so that you guys can prepare for your quiz. So please, let's begin with today's lecture, and then today's lecture is on Unit 3 with its goal on philosophical foundations of religious education. And we are looking at the first session is centered on religious pluralism. Please mute yourselves if you are not addressing the class, if you are not speaking to the class, if you are not calling my attention to anything, please mute yourselves. We are looking at religious pluralism. First, we will first look at what this session is about. This session is centered on philosophical issues. So to be able to look at these and understand it into detail, we first have to look at what philosophy is. What is philosophy from your own point of view? What is philosophy? Before we narrow it to the concept you are looking at now. What is philosophy? Yes. What is philosophy?
All right, sir.
Yes.
When we talk about philosophy is the love of wisdom. So it came from a Latin word philo and then sophy. So it means the love.
Hello. Can you hear him? Hello. Is it my network? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we are here. We can hear you.
So he has a problem.
Yes, please.
Called philosophy.
Oh. Please come again. Your network, you had a problem with your network. Mr. Raymond.
All right, sir. Am I audible enough now? Yes, so philosophy basically the love of wisdom. It came from a Latin word called philo and then sophy. So when we talk about philosophers, there are people who kind of question the norm and ask questions on why certain things are supposed to be the way they are, and then come out with their own knowledge and then critique whatever we know already. So a practical example was, at first they said the world was flat, but later philosophers came, they that no, the world is round, and then so on. So that's what philosophy is.
Thank you. Any other view on what philosophy is? Yes. Kobe.
All right, sir. My understanding about philosophy, when we talk about philosophy, we are talking about the study of life and knowledge.
Okay.
And when we are to break it down, when we say philosophy or philo is talking about love, and then the Sophie is talking about wisdom. That's my idea.
All right, thank you. So you're all right. So basically, philosophy is a systematic study of fundamental questions about life. The desire to search for knowledge, reality, truth, morality, and existence. Please mute yourselves if you are not speaking to the class. So with philosophy, it involves critical thinking, reflection. Please mute yourself. It involves critical thinking, reflection, and reasoning in an attempt to understand the world and our place in it. So with this background being established, now let's look at what this session is about. It's about religious pluralism. When you hear this word, what comes in mind? What is your take on this phrase? Religious pluralism. What comes in mind? I said the lecture is always going to be an interactive one. So please, let's share our views. No one is wrong in the class. Yes, religious pluralism. Or pluralism. The word pluralism. Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
To me, I know when you talk about plural yes. means more.
Okay.
So, and then since we know since we have knowledge on religion, then I could say in brief that religious pluralism is about accepting different beliefs.
Okay.
That is the simple way I can. So it's like Christianity accepting that there is traditional people, and then that's they accepting traditional beliefs, and then traditional believers also accepting yes, and then knowing that there is Christianity, and so accepting Christianity, and then say something like that. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You are on point. So when we talk of pluralism, the word pluralism is a condition, or it can be referred to as a condition in a society that creates space for people to celebrate diversity through dialogue, mutual respect, and empathy without requiring that groups abandon or weaken their beliefs or positions in the process. So with this regard, when you talk of religious pluralism, accepting the fact that there are more than one religion within a society, giving room for all religious groups to be allowed to operate without any being limited or restricted in any form or any way. So this religious pluralism is going to look at how harmoniously various religions live together or are being practiced by different people from different backgrounds within the same society. Now let's go deeper into what it is about. So by the end of the session, you should be able to discuss religious pluralism as one of the philosophical theories that influence contemporary religious education, and then explain the benefit that could be derived from promotion of religious pluralism in the country. So religious pluralism. Pluralism is a condition of society in which numerous distinct ethnic, religious, or cultural groups coexist within one nation. So that is the explanation for pluralism. Therefore, when you talk of religious pluralism, a condition of society in which there are numerous distinctive religious bodies, religious groups coexisting within one society or one nation. So, there are four methodological positions associated with these pluralism according to Hobson and Edwards, 1999. The first methodological position is equality of religion. Equality of religion. So with this position, religion or religions are equally valid since they all respond to similar big questions people have about the purposes of life. With this first method, it's highlighting the fact that all religions are equal. There's none superior over the other. It recognizes that they are all having common elements and that they are all of the same level. So when it looks at certain essential questions people or adherents ask themselves with regards to the purposes of life. And some of these big questions they do ask are: why we do exist? Is there a supreme being or an ultimate reality? What happens after death? And how should human beings live with one another? And then why is it that there's suffering in the world? So with this first method, I said it's make or giving room or highlighting the fact that all religions are equal and there's no religion superior to that of the other. And all religions are equal because they all seek to answer questions pertaining to the purpose of life and why adherents or humans seek to undergo findings for those questions they have. The second point or the second method is the revisionist pluralism. With this method, revision of aspects of religious traditions that are seen not to be compatible with post-Enlightenment modernist critical thinking and liberal democratic living. Let me take it again. When we talk of this method, we are looking at the revision of aspects of religious traditions that are seen not to be compatible with modernization. That's what it's about. Reviewing already existing religious traditions which are no more compatible with enlightenment, with modernity, with our current way of thinking, and then our way of living as well. So with this point, it suggests that some part of the traditional religious beliefs and practices should be changed or reinterpreted. It's saying that because certain traditional teachings may conflict with modern ways of thinking that developed after the Enlightenment, such as critical reasoning, scientific understanding, human rights, freedom, equality, and democratic rights. Due to the enlightenment of our society, I mean, people are going further to think critically, reason critically in an advanced form pertaining to certain issues which they weren't paying much attention to. Because of enlightenment, there are scientific meanings to certain happenings, and that's also throw more light on certain concepts or practices or beliefs which the individual had earlier. Human rights in our current dispensation is also one of the reasons why there's a call for certain religious traditions to be changed or to be reinterpreted to suit the modern enlightenment. So, for instance, when you talk of example of these enlightenments like gender equality, you know, some traditions restrict leadership role to men. I'm talking of the before the post-enlightenment era, before the modernity era. Some religious traditions are of the view that certain leadership roles are not meant for women. So this revisionist pluralism is calling for a change or reinterpretation of certain perspectives, certain perceptions, certain ideas that existed in the past based on individuals' beliefs. And it's calling for a change in them to suit modernization, to suit enlightenment. So in the olden days, when there existed gender inequality, in a sense that some traditions restrict leadership roles to men or women, I mean, giving specific rules to individuals and limiting individuals' against specific rules as well. It's calling for a change in these practices, because in our current dispensation, the limitations of this or a role being assigned to a woman and is supposed to be conducted by just a woman doesn't hold much in our era, because of modernization, things men are do positions men hold in high esteem, women are also able to man such positions and perform perfectly. So this holding idea of gender inequality, that certain leadership roles are men for the masculine, and women are exempted from it, and then women are seen as subordinates, conflicts with the current and modern ways of seeing women and their roles in our religious practice and also in our world. So these conflicts with modern ideas, as I said, of gender equality and equal rights. Emilia, your hand is up. Emilia, your hand is up. Okay. So pluralism, revisionist pluralism is calling for a change in the way of life to suit modernity. And in our current dispensation, in terms of modernity, this era looks at gender equality and equal rights. So we have to do away with the past idea and practice of gender inequality, which conflicts with the current policy of gender equality. Another example we can also cite under this revisionist pluralism is that religious intolerance or exclusivism. Before the post-Enlightenment era, the belief that only one religion is true, where people saw Christianity to be superior over the others. That belief that one religion is true and others are false or should be suppressed is a thing of the past. In our current era, it conflicts with modern values of religious freedom. In our current era, in our modernized society now, there's the practice of what? Religious freedoms, tolerance, and what? Pluralism, making room for all religions to cooperate and exist within a particular jurisdiction. So you realize that if the idea, or if individuals keep practicing the concepts of religious intolerance or exclusivism, though it will conflict with modern ways of seeing things when it comes to rights like religious freedoms, tolerance, and pluralism. So the second method is calling for a review, it's calling for a change of ways or how things are seen to suit modernity. The next we can also cite is punishment for blasphemy. Some traditions support harsh penalties for leaving a religion or criticizing it. But in our current era, there's freedom of expression. So individuals are not held or, meted with penalties when they express themselves over religious issues. So this conflicting ideas, what used to be the practice and what is this now? And what it is now is what this method is about. The revisionist pluralism is about, which seeks to change practices and policies in the past, which does not suit modern practices and modern ideas. All right, let's continue with the third method, which is extended pluralism. It says, considers the idea that both religious and non-religious beliefs attempt to answer the issues of ultimate concern. In extended pluralism, beliefs or issues are accepted or rejected only on the basis of how well they are argued or supported, and in this way, religious views are presented impartially. Regarding this point, extended pluralism is the view that not only religions, but also non-religious belief systems, such as humanism, secularism, and then atheism, try to answer the deepest and most important questions of life, which is often known as the issues of ultimate concerns. So when we talk of these issues, what are they? These issues, we have a meaning, purpose of life, morality, suffering, death, and how humans should live. So this third method is telling us that it is not solely religion that can help us to understand or make meaning of certain issues of concern, like the purpose of life, the meaning of life, morality, suffering, why death, and how should humans live. This method gives room for non-religious beliefs to also try and help to explain why certain issues of concern, certain questions are in existence, and how it can be also answered from a non-religious background. So when these non-religious belief systems, as I mentioned, that we have humanism, we have secularism, and then atheism, these three can also help explain the meaning of life, the purpose, morality, suffering, death, and then the others. Whereas humanism looks at human value and then the reason for carrying out certain values and that its impact. With this, you don't solely need religion to come and teach you why this individual shows love to the other person. Because atheism, people who do not even believe in God still show such values, human value, because it's according to their belief, it is part of human. You don't need to go to church, you don't need to be a believer to be able to understand that, show love and show care and be a helpful person to another person. So with this method of pluralism, is showing more light to this, that is making the point that things pertaining to issues of life can be looked at from non-religious belief systems or from non-religious perspective angle. It's not solely the case that always people should rely on religion to make meaning of certain questions of their life. They can also look at it or identify or observe certain behaviors from a non-religious belief background. This is what the extended pluralism is about. So the next point is that in extended pluralism, beliefs or issues are accepted or rejected only on the basis of how well they are argued or supported. And in this way, religious views are presented impartially. So with this point is making a statement that in extended pluralism, ideas, whether religious or non-religious, are not accepted just because tradition or authority or faith alone makes its valid. But instead, they are accepted or rejected based on how reasonable it is. Just as I said, here there is the mentioning of people who don't even believe in what religion. They don't even believe. I hope you can hear me. If it's your network, Katia Jones, try and change your position so that you can get the network correctly. Okay, change where you are standing and see. All right. Please mute yourselves if you are not addressing the class. So it says that instead they are accepted or rejected based on how reasonable, logical, and well supported they are by evidence and good argument. So you can give meaning to the purpose of life. You can give meaning of why we are suffering. when an individual argues perfectly and is supported with what? Evidence. So when you talk of suffering, someone from a religious background might explain that, oh, suffering is part of life, it's even in the Bible. But a non-believer will use a non-religious belief system, such as humanism, to say that, oh, an individual suffers because of the individual's behavior. An individual decides to stop schooling and end up becoming a burden on society. That moment, you can't say that the individual shouldn't take responsibility for his or her action, but you rather say that suffering is part of life because religion says so. So that is it. No. In arguing the point on this case, the individual who gives reasons why the individual is suffering wins that debate. So with this, it gives room for you to look at issues from religious perspective and also non-religious perspective. That's what it is about. I've seen Francis, your hand up.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, I want to ask something.
Yes.
A little outside the box. Sir, please, I know you are presenting it and then you are using the Microsoft, what do you call Microsoft Publisher? Is that it?
I'm using the PowerPoint.
The PowerPoint. Sir, I am actually it's still on the extended pluralism. So I just wanted to ask whether we are still on. I'm still on course because I thought it was my network.
Oh no! You are still on course. You are still. I'm just explaining further the second point.
Okay, sir. Okay,
yes,
sir.
You are still on point.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, so because religious pluralism makes room or looks at issues from religious and non-religious belief systems using these two means, this approach gives religious views a well-treated perspective. Okay, religious views are treated fairly because if an individual weighs the case at hand, and an individual sees that, oh, based on the argument being made with evidences attached to it, okay, it is not something which is normal. Okay, it's not something normal. So that means the individual will see it from maybe a different point of view. But if the individual is able to see it from the non-religious belief system angle, the individual comes out and then judge fairly that, oh, this one, I will not agree with you that it is a spiritual issue or a religious issue, but rather it is a medical issue which is caused by an individual's behavior. So that's what this extended pluralism is about. It gives room for the individual to look at a case or a situation using religious and non-religious belief systems to agree or to make meaning of what is being before him or her. So under this method again, no religion is automatically seen as right or wrong. Each belief is examined critically and impartially, just like non-religious ideas are also done. With extended pluralism, this extended pluralism means judging beliefs by their reasons and evidence, and treating all religious and non-religious views fairly and equally, not to be biased on them. Yes, hello. Yes. Morning. Yes. I'm having a class, or you are not monitoring. No, I don't think that I don't think I'm having EBS 123D philosophical and psychological foundations of RME. Then check the name again. Then you have called the wrong person because I'm having my class now. All right, you. Agbani, how? Okay, sorry about that. It was a code GCC. Now let's look at the fourth method, and that is religious pluralism. He says it's called the radical pluralism, which expresses the idea that even if postmodern society employs some kind of unconditionality, there still remains some core beliefs and world views in every religion of such salience that it is not possible for society to achieve the desired monolithic unity. Radical pluralists are critical of perspectives that advocate some form of transcendent unity because transcendent unity takes away religion's richness and uniqueness. This point, or what this point is about, is that radical pluralism is the view that even in a modern and post-modern society that tries to be tolerant and open to all kinds of belief, we are talking about pluralism, welcoming all religions, all belief system, welcoming every ethnic group, pluralism. So it says that this method is saying that in the view of this radical pluralism, even in a modern or postmodern society that tries to be tolerant and open to all beliefs, there are deeply held core beliefs in every religion that are so important to followers that they cannot be compromised or merged. Because of these fundamental differences, it is impossible for society to achieve a single, uniform, or monolithic religious or belief system where everyone agrees completely. So he's saying that this method is of the view that each religion is rich and unique in its form. Each has its own element and components that makes it different from the other. The Islam religion, in terms of prayer, they perform ablution and bow and then pray. We the Christians, we also pray. We don't perform ablution, but we have our ways of praying. The African traditional religion also pours libation. So you can't say that all these religions should come together and then become a single unit. No, because although they all believe in one God, they all believe in God, but their practices differs. How they see or address certain issues will differ from how the other will also address an issue. So there's no way they will all come together to form a unified religious body. It can't be possible. It can't be consolidated in a way that they will all end up practicing one way or worshiping in one particular style. So this radical pluralism is saying that give room for various ethnic groups, for various religions to operate because they are all unique in their own way. But we can't have a single unit religious group because of what the diverse nature of their way of doing things, of their belief systems. Okay. So an example we have is a country like India, where multiple religions like Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, and others coexist. Each religion has core beliefs that cannot be changed. Hinduism may believe in karma and reincarnation. Muslims may believe in one God, Allah, and the Quran as a final revelation, whereas Christians may believe in Jesus as the Son of God and Savior. So even though India is a modern society, democratic society promoting tolerance and equality, these core beliefs cannot be merged
Yes,
into a single
it's
unified
fine. How are you?
system. Please
Yeah,
mute
you're harmless.
yourself if you're not addressing the class. Please mute
Yeah,
yourself
I'm on the line.
because they are fundamentally different. As I said, even in Ghana, these are three main religions. I think there are three main major religions, and then other religions as well are all allowed to operate. They are all allowed to operate. They are all allowed to operate, and none of them, or they are not forced to become a single unit. Because their way of life, they see things differently, and then they address or worship in a different style. Okay. Now, okay. So with the case of India, as I mentioned, having multiple religions in existence, coexisting, this shows that society cannot achieve a monolithic unity in religious beliefs. Exactly what radical pluralism highlights. So radical pluralism gives room in modern era for religions to exist, no matter the number of them. And it says that they cannot be put together into a single unit. Radical pluralists are critical of perspectives that advocates some form of transcendent unity, because transcendent unity takes away religion's richness and uniqueness. Let me throw more light on this too. Again, it says, okay, so radical pluralists disagree with ideas that try to combine all religions into a single ultimate truth or unity. This is what transcendent unity means: combining all religions into one single unit, or truth is what is known as transcendent unity. Radical pluralists, the believers of these method or practitioners, they argue that if you force all religions into one, it loses the richness, the diversity, and unique character of each religion. Each religion has its own special teachings, rituals, values, and perspectives. And trying to merge them into one uniform belief system would erase what makes them distinct and valuable. So, in simple terms, you are just saying that radical pluralists believe that religion diversity is a strength, and trying to make all religions the same will destroy their individuality and religion. And based on what I've said so far, we all agree to the fact that nobody will ever try to form or merge all religions together. It will not be possible. It is not going to be possible. It's not going to be possible. So no matter how advanced the society is, the various belief systems that will pop up, they will still be allowed to operate within and among themselves. Okay. Now, let's look at the benefit of promoting religious pluralism in a country. One, there's national unity, because when we practice religious pluralism, giving room for all other religions to feel seen, to be respected, there's peace, there's national unity, they tolerate each other religiously, there's understanding, mutual understanding among parties, and then there's what harmonious coexistence, just as we have in Ghana. There is religious cooperation, and there's the religious diversity, which comes with its aesthetic view. Okay, because people who have everyone believing in one religion or being adherents of one religion, you see how diverse the other religions are, and we learn to appreciate how beautiful their practices also are. Then you have religious morality. Each of these religions come with their own morality, and this morality plays if and this morality plays a key role in shaping the behavior of the individual within the society or the country. So each the existence of all these religions have code of conduct of their practice for individuals who believe in their practices, and then for their own relationship with themselves and their own relationship with people within their community. So in the long run, that existence of these plural or a number of religions within a particular society has a benefit to the national development of that uh, country. Any question on this as we look at the next philosophy? Any question on religious pluralism? Is simply making room or giving room to um, other religions to, or all religions to operate and exist within one jurisdiction. That's what you're looking at. Yeah. Aisha Mohammed, you are testing me on WhatsApp and you are still online. Aisha Mohammed, what's your problem? Aisha. Aisha. Hello, Aisha.
Sir, Asha is absent,
Aisha Mohammed is online.
but she's not responding. So please let us know.
Okay, you. Any question on what you've done so far, the religious pluralism? With this knowledge obtained, you look at the next philosophy, and with that, it will give you a clearer understanding of what I mean. Okay. Now let's go to the next session, which is exclusivism. Religious exclusivism. Religious exclusivism. That's what I'm going to look at now. With the understanding obtained from the first session, what do you think religious exclusivism will also be about? Mr. Ramon.
Yes, so the religious civism will be the direct opposite of the pluralism. You know, we learn that the pluralism is basically allowing every religion to operate freely in one jurisdiction.
Yes.
But with exclusivism, it means that that jurisdiction have one particular religion they practice and no other religion is allowed.
Okay.
For purpose of example, you go to say Saudi Arabia, where it's
Yes.
an Islamic state. No other
Yes.
religion is allowed to operate there. It's seen
Yeah.
as a taboo, haram, or yeah, yeah. So that's basically it.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your points. And any other person on religious exclusivism? Exclusive. Exclusive. Okay. let's continue. Religious exclusivism. The goal of the session is that you should be able to examine religious exclusivism as a philosophical position in religious education and discuss the challenges associated with these religious exclusivism. When we talk of religious exclusivism, what is it? It says that the view that while one religion is exclusive, whilst one religion is seen as exclusively true, others are largely or completely false, and that's not what teaching. So this philosophical point of view, or this philosophy or concept, is about making one religion superior over others, where the others will not even be recognized as they be in existence, or they will be lessly mentioned. Just as our brother said in Saudi Arabia, in the case of Saudi Arabia, and in other countries as well. Okay. So with this exclusivity, we can also say that is the belief that only one religion is completely true and that all other religions are wrong or mistake. People who hold this view often believe it is not useful or necessary to teach other religions because they are considered to be false. I don't know how true it is, but if you follow the kidnapping issues happening in Nigeria, some of the view that Nigeria has a high number of Muslims, and therefore they are trying to put into practice this philosophy, religious exclusivism, where they are trying to make the Christian religion small or subdue that religious religion and allow Islam to dominate. Okay, so those kidnappers who go into churches, bombing the churches and killing people, massacre them, and then destroying them, they are of the view that Islam is the only religion to be practiced, according to certain point of view or certain videos that has been in the public domain. They are of the view that Islam is the only religion that should be allowed to operate, that should be respected, that should be recognized, and that the others should not be practiced. So there's no, they are even stopping its practice, they are even stopping it to be recognized. Okay, so they are not allowing okay, they have a dominant number. All right, right. Well noted, thank you. So it says that this philosophy is about making one religion feel themselves superior over the other, whereas pluralism gave room and embraced every religion. Exclusivism is making one feel superior over the others. And then people who identify themselves with that particular religion or who have the majority always try to bully the other ones and feel like the other ones should not even be taught, should not even be practiced, should not even be mentioned. So that's what is the case now. So we can cite examples like Christian exclusivism. In this context, many Christians believe that salvation is only through Jesus Christ. From this perspective, other religions like Islam or Hinduism are seen as not leading to salvation. So the religious exclusivism, we can look at it from the Christian perspective, you can look at it from various perspectives. Like the Christian perspective, I said that many Christians believe that salvation is only through Jesus Christ. That's their beliefs, that's their idea. From this perspective they have, other religions like Islam and Hinduism are seen as not leading to salvation. Okay, so people who have such a view, you know how they will behave towards this other group of people who don't share the same view with them. When it comes to when we also look at it from an Islamic exclusive point of view, some Muslims believe that only Islam is the true path to God. Just as I cited that in England and in Nigeria, some of these kidnappers are having this mindset that Islam is the only path to God, is the only true path to God, and only religion to be practiced. Hence, no other religion should be given room to operate. So, other religions are considered incorrect or misguided in matters of ultimate truth. So, they'll go against them. When we come to within the Christian exclusivism or the Christian fraternity, even some bodies within the Christian fraternity also have their own view on how they see certain things. Some of the religious bodies will not take blood, will exempt themselves from certain dietary foods. I mean, even what they do on certain days will also be well cared for, and what they are not supposed to do. So even within the Christian fraternity, there are what exclusivism being practiced by some bodies within the Christian fraternity. Do you understand to this point? Okay. Now, the next point is, however, the adherents should be given the right to teach their religion to the children of their members. So, if religious criticism is being practiced in the case of Saudi Arabia, okay, or Dubai, where I'm told that, and Qatar, where I'm told that there is a very big space called a religious center where there are days for other churches, other Christian bodies to also meet, despite the country being a Muslim country. Okay, so such country, they allow the children of people, of Christians, to be taught their religion. They do not tell those Christians in the country not to teach their own religion to their children. This point here under religious exclusivism is saying that although we realize or recognize or we see ourselves as the superior religion, we still give you room to educate your children at home regarding your religion. You are not deprived of that right or freedom. No. Okay. So, unlike strict exclusivism, it respects the rights of others to practice and teach their own religion to their children. In other words, it allows religious freedom, even if it does not accept the truth of other religions. So you in the Qatar or Dubai cannot go and tell the ruler of Dubai that my Christian religion is superior to yours. Mine is the right one, so come and join. No. They will not even agree to it. But they will allow you to also operate, but in a limited way. In the same way, if it's a Christian country, that's how to also be in that case. So, for instance, when we have a Christian school in a pluralistic society, a Christian school may teach Christianity as the true faith, but still allows students from other religions to learn their own religious practices at home or in their community. Okay, and then Islamic communities. If it's the case of that, an Islamic community may believe Islam is the only true religion, but still permits non-Muslims to teach their children their own beliefs and celebrate their religious festivals. So this is what so far the religious exclusivism is about. Now let's look at the next point. It says Peter Gardner argues that those who reject the view that the religious beliefs of others are not false live a fallacy of tolerance. So this fallacy of tolerance, you are saying that it happens when teachers or educators avoid saying that the beliefs of others might be wrong, even if they personally think they are. In other words, they try to be tolerant to the point of ignoring truth claims, which Gardner sees as a logical problem. So according to Gardner, why should you just keep quiet and allow a particular religion which you, in your own thinking, is false to operate? Gardner is saying that if you tolerate this, you are committing a fallacy called fallacy of tolerance. So avoid where individuals or teachers try and avoid saying that the beliefs of others might be wrong, even if they think they are. So they just don't pass judgment on them publicly. They allow them to operate and give freedom of people who want to operate to or follow that particular religion to continue or follow it. Okay. Such a fallacy emerges when teachers refrain from concluding that the beliefs held by others are wrong. So one pedagogic implication is that exclusive positions tends to endorse confessional approach. What is this confessional approach? What is this confessional approach? So it says teachers openly teach their own religious beliefs as true, and then students are encouraged to accept and follow these beliefs rather than presenting all religions as equally valid. So when the teacher does this, it is called confessional approach, openly admitting to the fact that my religion is better than yours. This is the confessional approach. Okay. So it says that the exclusive position says that it's okay to claim that one's own religion is true and others are wrong. Because of this, exclusivism often supports a confessional approach in teaching, meaning that teachers openly teach their own religious belief as true. Students are encouraged to accept and follow other beliefs rather than presenting all religions as equally valid. So here, the teacher does not practice religious pluralism, but rather the teacher, because of his mindset, religious exclusivism, the teacher uses the conventional approach to make known to the students that this particular religion is better than the other. That is what's called the confessional approach. So when you are quizzed, when it comes to your quiz, you know what to say about the confessional approach. So the next is religious exclusivism is likely to promote intolerance among students. Why do you think it will be the case? Yes. Why do you think religious exclusivism will promote intolerance among students? Yes. Yes, quickly. Why do you think when a teacher comes to practice this confessional approach within a classroom, promoting religious exclusivism, why do you think it will promote intolerance among students? Yes, quickly. Yes. Yes. Hello. Yes, Remo.
Because students who belong to the minority side will feel excluded or will feel cheated or not being dealt with in a just way. Because even when we come to the whole school body, we've even had issues with GES and schools, the senior high schools who are mission schools, not allowing students to wear hijab and all those ones to the school. So that's even one of practical example of the exclusivity, and it has
Yes.
brought a lot of issues. in
Yes.
terms of psychological and emotional distance to the
Yeah.
students.
Yeah.
So yes.
All right. Good. Thank you. That's a strong point there. Thank you very much. And let's continue. It says, when each student accepts and understand that the believer is always right, it can promote peace and peaceful coexistence. In Ghana, there are many religions. However, concentration is on only three major religions. Even though the minor ones are not taught in school, adherents are given the freedom to practice their own religion. All right. Okay. Challenges associated with religious exclusivism. Challenges associated with religious exclusivism. One, religious exclusivism can create disunity in a nation, especially when one is looking superior over the other. Definitely, there will be disunity. It promotes and encourages religious intolerance and creates misunderstanding. Religious conflicts are fired by exclusivism, and then it is a violation of human rights. Yes, a violation of human rights, and it suppresses religious freedom. So, when religious exclusivism is practiced, these are the challenges which comes with it. So, at the end of the day, looking at the various concepts, we will understand why it's important to practice one particular method or practice one particular philosophy over the other. Any question? We are moving to session 3. Religious inclusivism. Religious inclusivism. Okay. Religious inclusivism. It says that the goal is that you be able to discuss religious inclusivism as a philosophical point of view and its benefits. When we talk of religious inclusivism, what do we mean? It says the idea that no one religion possesses the truth and that other religions may be offering something from which other religions can learn. So basically, it's like inclusive class where, despite a student's disability, a student is given room to operate or to enroll in the normal class. Okay, enroll in normal class where if the person is hearing aids, the person is given the hearing aid to help him or her to operate and integrate within the normal class stream. That's how this religious inclusivity is. Agree to the fact that no one religion possesses the ultimate truth, but other religions are also offering something from which other religions can learn, embracing other religions because other religions have certain belief system or practices which can be adopted and made use of. There's this say some people share the view that even the washing of the after using the washroom, Muslims wash themselves down. Okay, after using the washroom. So some Christians I've heard on social media that they even practice that too because according to them, it helps uh, uh, drive away piles because as Christians we just use the tissue after using the washroom, but with the Muslims they are able to wash down, and in using the water to wash down, you become more neat in terms of hygiene. You are more neat, and it has a long time bearing on your health as well, fighting against power and the rest. That's their belief. So they've learned something, and they've seen that of course I'm a Christian, but this practice of Muslims is also something which I can also take on for myself. Okay, there are some too who during the fast they are Christian, but they also join them in fasting to the end. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they agreed that the fast they joined helped them medically or in a particular way. So agreed to the fact that no one religion has a sole truth, but giving room that other religions may have something in them which other religions can learn from. That's what religious inclusivism is about. Okay, this idea, religious inclusivism, means that no single religion has the complete or absolute truth. Instead, different religions may each contain valuable teachings or insights, and they can learn from one another. This view encourages openness, dialogue, and mutual respect among religions. So, example is that Christianity teaches love, forgiveness, and compassion, whereas the Islam also emphasizes submission to God, charity, and discipline in daily lives. Buddhism also teaches mindfulness, inner peace, and freedom from suffering. So all these we can learn. Practitioners of any of these religions can learn the value of the other religions or values highlighted by the other religions. So that's what religious inclusivism is mainly about. So someone who holds this view would say that each religion offers important truth, and people from one religion can learn helpful moral or spiritual lessons from the others, rather than claiming only one is completely right. So with the inclusivists believe that other people should be given the space to express their religious views in education as well. So when as teachers, when you go to the classroom, although you are a believer, you give room for other believers or people of different backgrounds to also share their beliefs, okay, within the classroom. You don't say because you're a Muslim, you don't allow the Christians also share their belief. No, you ought to allow everybody to share because you can learn from one or the other. The inclusivist position tends to demand that professionally, leaders must teach religion without so much emphasis on their professional or confessional position. We realized that there's something we just looked at was the confessional approach, where the individual makes public statement that his religion is better over the others. He is saying that the inclusivist position demands that professionally teachers must teach religion without so much emphasis on their confessional position. So respect the students listening to you and do not impose on them by making confessional approaches. So the inclusive position says that the teacher or teachers of religion should act professionally and fairly in the classroom. Even if the teacher personally belongs to a particular religion, they should not strongly promote only their own faith. Instead, they should present different religions respectively, showing that truth or value may also exist in other religions. Okay. Example, a Christian teacher in a religious and moral education class may personally believe Christianity is true. However, following the inclusivist approach, the teacher will teach about Islam, African traditional religion, and other faiths respectfully. The teacher will not say he's a Christian, so he will not teach, or he will not even learn about the other religions. The teacher has to learn and also has to teach all the religions as well. Explain their beliefs and practices correctly, accurately, not as false or inferior. Encourage students to understand and appreciate different religions rather than forcing them to accept Christianity. So in simple terms, inclusivism in teaching means not preaching your own religion in class, but teaching all religions fairly and respectfully. Okay. So we looked at this religious inclusivism. Still on the religious inclusivism, it says one pedagogic implication is that the inclusivist position supports neo-confessional and theological liberal approaches. With a neo-confessional, inclusivism seeks to maintain the distinctiveness and integrity of one's own traditions, while acknowledging the potential validity of others. It emphasized the commonalities among different religious traditions and advocates for a more inclusive understanding of religion, of spirituality and salvation. So under these two approaches, the neo-confessional approach, religion is still taught from within a particular faith tradition, but more openly and respectful. The teacher may share their religious perspective, yet recognize truth and goodness in other religions. When we talk of the theological approach, religion is taught in a broad, open, and tolerant way. Emphasis is placed on dialogue, shared moral values, and learning from different religions, rather than insisting only one is completely right. Okay. Now, let's look at the benefits of religious inclusivism. The benefit of religious inclusivism. Okay. It promotes peaceful coexistence. Citizens react or respect the religion of fellow citizens. It creates religious freedom. Religious tolerance is promoted. National unity is ensured. Good interpersonal relationship is promoted, and so religious. It's also religiously motivated, and there exists conflict in society. Okay. Now, any question on this religious inclusivism? Because it's just as the religious pluralism, giving room for others to also operate. Tete Jones, yes.
Yes, definitely. I was about to ask the difference between the religious pluralism and religious inclusivity, but it seems you've answered it already.
Yes. So they are similar based on the last slides we looked at. They are all similar, okay? But with the religious inclusivism, the teacher, although is a practitioner of one religion, you still give room to read, to learn, or practice certain important or things you consider to be good from other religions. Okay. Yes. So they are similar. They are similar. Religious pluralism and then religious inclusivism. They are similar. No other religion is seen as minor, whilst other is seen as superior. They are all regarded as one. They are all respected. Despite an individual's view about his or her religion, he doesn't impose and doesn't use the confessional approach to say that his is better than the other. No, he uses the new confessional approach or the theological approach where he makes analysis and make room for others and also highlights the important practices in other religions as well. The person admits, the teacher admits that of course I'm a Christian, of course I'm a Muslim, but there are certain practices or beliefs in the Christian domain which is important, which I can mention to my students. So that's what we will say about the religious inclusivism. Now we'll move to section 4, religious relativism. Religious relativism. Okay. Okay. Now, religious relativism. What is this about? What is this about? Religious relativism. By the end of the session, you should be able to discuss religious relativism as a religious philosophy. Religious relativism. It says that it is the idea that every religion is as good as any other and that none has objective truth because all constructions of knowledge or understanding of reality are the fruits of subjective experience. So with this point, let me elaborate deeper. The meaning of relativism is that religious relativism teaches that human beliefs, experiences, and cultures depend on their context, such as history, society, or sociology, tradition, and environment. This means people believe what they do because of the situation or culture they grew up in. So they see their religious practice as good and they see it's based on their own understanding and the knowledge they've developed from their own subjective experience of their own practices. So they will say that this practice of ours, washing down after the usage of the washroom, is a good hygienic practice for us because of certain things. I mean, it does for ourselves. Okay, so the individual will say that because of his own personal experience of it. Okay. Relativism also suggests that different beliefs and cultural practices influence one another. No belief exists completely alone. Instead, they are connected and shaped by relationship within society. Just as I said that individuals from various religions learn certain practices and beliefs that they think it is right based on the individual's own conscience. So they do not decide to go against it because they are not practitioners, but they learn from it. Under this religious relativism, another key idea is that all religious or cultural viewpoints are equally valid because the person experienced that belief and practice in his or her own way. So according to him, is the right one. You, who is also practicing another one, you also, from your own relative position, you are also saying yours is also right. Therefore, everyone is right. Everyone is right. And everyone is right because it is based on the individual's knowledge accumulated from his or her own experience. I hope we are getting it. All right. Now, okay. So according to this relativism, no single religion or perspective has absolute authority or superiority over the others. Okay. So pay attention to the unique or the features of each of these philosophies, so that you'll be able to express yourself during the quizzes. All right. So in simple terms, we can say that religious relativism means beliefs depend on culture and context. Different beliefs are connected and influence each other, and then no one religion or viewpoint is absolutely superior. All are considered equally valid. Okay. So an example we can cite under this is that in Ghana, people belong to different religious traditions, such as Christianity, Islam, and African traditional religions. Each group believes its practices and teachings are meaningful because of its history, culture, and community life. So A Christian may see attending church, praying in Jesus' name, and reading the Bible as the true way to relate with God. A Muslim will also see daily prayers, fasting during Ramadan, and following the Quran is also the correct path. A traditional believer will also believe in handling ancestors, consulting traditional priests, and then observing festival as the proper spiritual way. So from this philosophical point of view, from a relativist perspective, none of these is absolutely superior. They are all the same. Instead, each religion is understood as valid within its own cultural and social context because it gives meaning, moral guidance, and identity to its followers. In simple terms, you are saying that religious relativism in Ghana means different religions are respected as meaningful in their own cultural settings rather than saying only one is completely right. Okay. Let's look at the next point. It says Paul Bosin view that relativists are misguided in their view that there is no objective truth or knowledge, but only truth from a particular perspective. This point is saying that it's describing a view that Paul disagree with relativists. Relativists say there is no single objective truth, only truth that depend on different perspectives or cultures. However, critics argue that relativists are mistaken because they believe objective truth and real knowledge do exist, not just personal or cultural opinions. Connection to these religious education is that in religious education, relativism often appears in non-conventional approach, such as the phenomenological religious education, studying religion neutrally and descriptively without saying one is true. Multi-faith religious education, teaching many religions side by side with equal respect. These approaches can seem relativist based or to avoid declaring one religion as absolute or not. So all what I'm saying, all this note is trying to throw more light on is that when we talk of religious relativism, every religion is right. The believers of these are called the relativists. They are saying that all religions are right. And there is no absolute truth, but there are truths based on what cultural experience and context. So they recognize that all religions are right, are true. All religious ideas are true, despite the background it's coming from, because the individual, based on it's true because the individual has a special way of making meanings to it through his or her own experience. So that's what this philosophy is about. That's what this philosophy is about. Not to confuse you with a lot of explanations. Simply put, religious relativism give room or recognizes the uniqueness of all religions and then see it as such as to be true, but not as having a total truth all over, but they are true in their own unique way. That's what this religious relativism philosophy is about. Okay. The next one. All right. The next one is that a non-confessional religious education, provision of objective and balanced understanding of various religious traditions without promoting any specific faith perspective. So this philosophy, religious relativism, make use of non-conventional approach. It doesn't openly say that my religion is the sole truth or the right path. No, it highlights that all religions are unique in their own way. They are all unique in their own way and doesn't just promote one specific faith over the other. No, it's just like the religious pluralism. Okay, good. The philological approach has faced criticisms that it overtook or downplayed the differences and contradictions among religious beliefs and practices. Here is saying that the philological approach to religious education tries to study religions objectively and neutrally, focusing on describing beliefs, rituals, and experiences without judging which religion is true or false. However, critics say this approach can ignore or reduce the real differences and contradictions between religion. So, some religions have opposing teachings about God, salvation, life after death, or moral rules. By trying to treat all religion in a similar way, that's what religious inclusivism tries to do. That's what religious inclusivism try to do. Relativism try to do. Tries to treat all religion in a similar way and making them see, or for people to see them as what one, or each having a unique truth in them. Okay, so by trying to treat all religions in this similar way, according to this philological approach, the philological method may make them appear more alike than they actually are. So if you are saying that, if the believers of these philosophy are saying that all religions are unique and all are true, they are all the right path, and individual might think that, okay, they are the same. They are the same. But going deep now, each of these religions, although they are true based on the individual's perspective and an experience, there are unique features each of them carries. They are unique components of each of them. They are not, they can be, each of them will have unique characteristics that make it different from the other. Although people might see that they are all religions and then they carry out what they all have an iota of truth in them. So this is where people are criticizing this philological approach, that you cannot say because they are all the same, they are all because you claim they are all true, they are all the same. No, you can say they are all true, but they are all not the same. That's what this point time the philological approach being criticized is about. You can say they are all true, but you can't say they are all the same. You can't do away with their differences. You can't close your eyes over their differences. For instance, Christianity teaches about Jesus is the Son of God and Savior, but Islam teaches that Jesus is a prophet, not the Son of God. So you see, there are differences. So if the philological approach tries to downplay or look down upon the differences therein, it's going to be wrong. So that's why people criticize that the philological approach does not highlight the differences therein, but it rather downplays the differences in there. Okay. These are directly contradictory beliefs. If a teacher using the philological approach only says both religions honor Jesus is in important ways, this may hide the real disagreement between them. In simple terms, critics argue that philological approach make religions look too similar and does not fully show their real difference or conflicts. Okay. Now, so still on the philological approach, instead, it aims to uncover the universal structures of religious experience, potentially neglecting the unique aspects of each tradition. So you cannot say that they are all the same. Per the example I cited, I realized that there are differences. there are differences between them, even between their own beliefs about who Jesus is. So that's a clear example that you cannot conclude and say that because you claim religions, all the religions are relative and they are true per their own experiences and context. It is universal in all their features too. No, that's what this point is about. Then, okay, it provides a nuanced understanding of religion that recognizes both commonalities and differences among religion. Now, okay. Any question as we continue? Okay. Okay, so in order to correct this assertion that they are all the same, according to the philosophical approach, Jackson came up with the interpretive approach to religious education, which is what an alternative to the phenomenological and other relativist learning methods. So, what is this interpretivist approach about? This approach suggested by Jackson as an alternative to method like phenomenology that may treat religions as too similar or overly neutral. This approach, the interpretivist approach, teaches that religions should be understood in their real life context. Beliefs and practices are shaped by culture, history, community, and daily life. So we must interpret religion as people actually live it, not just as abstract ideas. It says religions are diverse and complex, and that even within one religion, people may believe and practice differently. Just as I mentioned, that some churches will take blood, some will not take blood. So you can't say that they are all the same. You can't hold on to the philosophical approach, but using this alternative provided by Jackson, the interpretive approach will throw more light on the differences within the various religious groupings. So this interpretive approach also highlights both similarities and differences within them. Some moral values like kindness or justice may be shared across religions, but important differences in beliefs and practice may also be what recognized. So an example we can cite is that in Ghana, Christianity is practiced in many different ways. The Pentecostal Christian may emphasize healing, prophecy, and lively worship. Catholic Christian may focus on sacrament, liturgy, and church tradition. Jackson's interpretivist approach would show how each group actually lives its faith in the Ghanaian culture. Using the alternative to the phenomenological approach, which is the interpretivist approach, it will show how each group actually lives its life in the Ghanaian culture. And also recognize that both are Christians, yet their practices and meanings differ. Help students understand similarities such as believing God, Jesus, prayer, and difference in terms of worship style, authority, and rituals. So in simple terms, the interpretive approach means understanding religion as people truly practice it in real cultural setting while representing both shared features and real difference among religions. Okay. Now let's look at the implications of practicing this philosophy. What are the implications? It says that the putting it into teaching or practice. There's a pedagogical implications that one, it promotes critical thinking. When we say promotes critical thinking, what do we mean? We are saying that religious relativism encourages students to analyze, question, and compare different religious beliefs instead of accepting them blindly. Example, in a classroom, students will compare the concept of salvation in Christianity and Islam. Examine the reasons behind each belief rather than simply being told which one is right. And then encouraging respect and tolerance is also a pedagogical implication of practicing this philosophy. It says that since all religious beliefs are considered contextually valid, students learn to respect people of other faiths and avoid discrimination or ridicule. And then Muslim students and Christian students share how they pray. Even if their practices differ, the teacher emphasizes respect for both approaches and encourages mocking or judgment. All right. The next point is facilitating dialogue and discussion, because the relativists encourage open conversations about religious beliefs, allowing students to exchange ideas and learn from each other. It brings about dialogue and what discussions. So in a context where students from different faiths engage in a class debate about rituals in their religions, discussing why they are important and then listening to one another without trying to convert each other helps promote what? Peace. The next point is fostering self-reflection and identity formation. He says, by learning about different religions and perspectives, students reflect on their own beliefs and values, helping them develop a personal religious or moral identity. Example, after studying multiple religions, a student writes a reflective essay on what spirituality means to them personally, considering both their family faith and other traditions. The last point is navigating ethical and moral issue. When we talk of this, what do we mean? We are saying that this moral philosophy or this religious philosophy helps students see how ethical principles differ across religions and teaches them to make informed moral choices based on understanding, not coercion. An example is the fact that during the discussion on charity and helping the poor, students explore how Christian and Islam and African traditional religion approach this, then discuss how these teachings can influence their own ethical decisions. We come to the end of religious relativism 2. Any question as we move to the next quickly? Any question? All right. Please mute yourselves if you are not addressing the class.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
We are at Asante Mampo. We are about 8 or 2.
Okay.
Today is the first time that we join. We don't know.
Today's your first time. Why is today your first time? Hello? Paul? Hello? Asante Mampo group. Hello? Hello?
Maybe he just got admission.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I'm also from Asante Mampo. The problem is that when we went to our center.
Yes. Madam Mary, I'm listening. When you went to your center, yes.
So we told us to come online and look for the link and join. And then this is our first time we're able to join. So we want to know if the hello.
Yeah, I'm coming. Let Madam Mary finish. I'm coming. Yes, Madam Mary.
So we want to know if you have already the grouping, the grouping for presentation, if you have already done that.
No, I've not done the grouping yet.
And
I've not
also
done the
if there
grouping
is
yet.
anything that
I've not done the
if
grouping
there are
yet.
assignments or any information you could give us so that it will help us.
Okay, so I've not done the grouping yet. I'll do the grouping, then I'll send them. Are you on the WhatsApp page? Asante Mampong group, are you on the WhatsApp page? Asante Mampong, Madam Mary.
Yes, sir.
Are you on the WhatsApp page?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I will officially communicate how I'll prepare the groups for the presentation. Okay. I will ask you all to type the center. Do you have course reps? Do you have center leaders or course reps?
Yeah, I am Paul. You are the course rep.
So you, Madam Mary, for Asante Mampong, you type Asante Mampong on top. Then you write your name and then your index number. Then you post it. Then people from Asante Mampong also will copy it and edit it and add DS to it. So it will be based on center. Each center will drop DS on the WhatsApp page.
Okay.
Get it?
Okay.
So when all the lists are displayed on the WhatsApp platform, I'll sit down and compile them and assign topics to each of the groupings. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So hello, sir. At the end of the lecture, I will give that instruction how it to be done. But right now, I've not shared any groupings. I'm not working on any grouping yet because I know people are still finding their feet. Okay, good. And then
thank you, sir.
Yes, there are some people who also complain that their class is having a clash. Algebra is clashing with this course. And then I spoke to them yesterday on how we will solve that issue. So I've a time given to them. I will meet them. But when the presentation time is up, they will all come for the regular lecture time, which is 7 a.m. on Sunday. So I've spoken to them on that too. So that's what will be discussed. I'll take them through this course. This unit again.
You want you to meet us face to face?
Currently, based on the college decision, is online. With time, the college will come up with another directive if it's supposed to be face to face. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. All right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir. Yes, good morning.
Yes, madam.
Sir, please concern the presentation. Please, what of we don't have centers here?
You don't have centers.
I don't have center. I'm online student.
Don't worry. When I put the instruction in the page, guys, you should drop your details. Just follow the instruction and drop your details. Okay.
Sir, I'm not on the page. Oh.
You're not on the WhatsApp page.
Yes.
How? You are Joyce.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll send you the what's the name? The WhatsApp link, the group link.
Okay, sir.
You are Joyce, eh? Joyce. Joyce what?
Kisiwa.
Oh, this is Judith. Joyce. Have you WhatsApped me or WhatsApp me so that I'll send you the link?
Hello, sir.
Okay.
WhatsApp me.
So
okay.
can I get your contact?
Can you? My contact is, let me write it in the chat here. It's 026 932331. I've written it in the chat here. 026 932331. All right.
Okay, sir.
026. So just send me a message that you are EBS123D students, and you want the group WhatsApp group. Yes. Someone also. Yes, please. You have the floor.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Please, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I'm from Mampong.
Yes, sir.
They told us that when we are more than 10, they will give us a lecture who will come for face to face.
Okay.
But right now, we haven't get any lecture.
And are you more than 10?
Yes, sir.
How many are you now?
We are 11.
Okay, maybe you hear from them. Until you hear from them, you have to join online. But if you get information from them that you have a lecture now, then you notify me.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Until then, you have to, as I've instructed, that you'll be dropping your name on the platform for me to prepare your presentation list.
Okay.
Hello,
The
sir.
problem is we are not on the platform.
You are not on the
we
WhatsApp
want
platform?
The link. Yes. We want the link to join for the general platform.
You are not on this course platform?
Yes.
Okay, so send me, you have my number, right? Then the number is in the chat. So WhatsApp me. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Aristotle.
Yes. The person who has started from West School. You have done what? That's how I want it to be done. So if you are from West School, I'm coming. If you are from West School, then you copy the text, then you also add yours. That's how it's going to be done. If you are from another center, you post yours and someone will copy. So by the end of the week, I'll have all the names and then I'll compile it. Yes, please talk.
My problem is I'm from Akachi Center in the Buta region. Yeah, I'm the only one doing foundation of RM.
Yes.
So please, I didn't get the group or the link earlier to join, so that all what you are teaching, I should get from the beginning. Only today that I joined the class, so I want to apologize for that. But I learned you are the only person taking us through the foundation of RM.
Yes.
Okay, so
are you on the WhatsApp? Are you on the WhatsApp platform?
Yeah, I WhatsApp you. Then you send the link to me.
Okay, all right. So, those having the issues that your quiz, if everything goes as planned according to the calendar here, your quiz is scheduled for 21st February to 1st March, and it's going to cover unit 1 to 3. So what I can do for you, what I'm planning to do for you guys is meet you guys during the revision week. The revision week is 14th to 15th, right? So
yes, sir.
I'll meet you guys. We'll agree. I will not impose. We'll discuss on the page, and then we'll pick one of the days, either 14th or we'll take 15th, which is the usual lecture time, 7 a.m. And then I will take you through unit 1 to 3 again. So that those who didn't come, they will take that lecture as revision, as learning freshly, and as revision for those who already took it, so that they'll be able to prepare towards the quiz. You get it?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yes. All right. So if you're on the WhatsApp page, then definitely you get the information I'll release there. But if you're not there, then
you added me to the platform already.
All right. So we'll communicate there.
Okay.
Yeah. So in absence of any question, let's continue with the session 5. The time is even up. Session 5. Who's this? Please say we are assisting in number at Sunyane. You are assisting in number. Are you on the WhatsApp page, David Zewu? Are you on the WhatsApp page?
Yes, sir.
You're on the WhatsApp page. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
if you're assisting and the college hasn't given a directive of assigning a lecturer to you guys,
Okay.
as it sounds now, you are still with me. Your scores will, and everything will be with me. But the moment the college or the center coordinator comes to say that you have been given a lecturer, that's when you are no more under me. You understand?
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So until then, you are going to cooperate with me. Release your group list, your list in terms of the people from the Sunyane Penkwasi. Yes, Greenfield.
Yeah, Penkwasi Greenfield.
Penkwasi Greenfield. You release your list on the page so that I will add it to the list I compile for the presentation. Okay, Asante Mampong, you are also 10. Yes, you spoke up, you mentioned it, and I'm saying we are pleading if you can get us lecturer. I'm not the one who do that too. It's the college who does that decision. I beg you. It's the college that does that decision. It's not me. So until then, you just have to be here. If the college comes to the directive, then you know that it's a directive from above. Until then, we are here. All right. So please, let's continue with the religious skepticism. Religious skepticism. Let me quickly rush to the religious skepticism. Okay. So when we talk of religious skepticism, session 5 here. Skepticism claims that religious beliefs do not at all occupy a legitimate domain of knowledge. Skeptics argue religious propositions rest on unproven assumptions that cannot be empirically verified, falsified, or rationally defended. Okay. So the first point, when we talk of religious skepticism, skepticism claim that religious beliefs do not at all occupy a legitimate domain of knowledge. This means skeptics doubt that religion can give us a true knowledge in the same way science or history can. They argue that religious beliefs like the existence of God and miracles happen cannot be proven with evidence or logical reason. So an example of this claim or belief by this skeptic is that imagine someone claiming that praying every morning will guarantee you to win a lottery. A skeptic will say this claim cannot be tested, proven, or disproven scientifically, so it does not belong to knowledge in the strict sense. Okay. These skeptics also argue that religious propositions rest on unproven assumptions that cannot be empirically verified, falsified, or rationally defended. So these skeptics are all saying that these religious propositions we are of the view or upholding cannot be proven. So if they cannot be proven, they are not real. They cannot be said to be real. They cannot be said to be false. So they are indifferent about it. That's the word. They are indifferent about these religious propositions, which people, adhere to. So they're saying that religious beliefs are often based on faith rather than empirical evidence. Skeptics emphasize that these beliefs cannot be tested in experiments or logically disproven. Example, believing in reincarnation is a religious proposition. You cannot test empirically whether a soul moves from one's body to another after death. So skeptics would argue this claim is not knowledge in a scientific sense. Skeptics are the view that you cannot prove or disprove something, so it is not knowledge in its sense. So the prime objective for pursuing religious knowledge, according to these skeptics, in A formal school setting is to seek truth and avoid error. In education, studying religion is meant to help students understand different beliefs and evaluate them critically, rather than blindly accept them. The goal is to discern truth from false claims as much as possible. So, for instance, a student might study Christianity, Islam, and African traditional religion to understand their teachings and practices. By comparing claims and evidence, a student can better decide what seems reasonable or consistent with reality. All right. Owing to conflicting truth claims, because all believers claim their own is true, great difficulty arises in choosing the right claim over the false one, because they cannot be proven, they cannot be falsified, they cannot be unproven. Religions often make different or contradictory claims about the nature of God, the afterlife, and morality. This makes it hard to know which is true, especially if one relies only on reasoning or evidence. Okay. Okay. So, still on the owning to conflicting truth claims, great difficulty arises in choosing the right claim over the false ones. It says, for instance, when you talk of Christianity teaching salvation, which comes through faith in Jesus Christ, Islam teaches salvation comes through submission to Allah and good deeds. A student examining both critically may find it challenging to determine which claim is correct, because both cannot be proven and cannot be unproven too. So the student will find it challenging to accept or deny it. Okay, so they are mostly the believers of this religious skepticism are indifferent about what people say, because it cannot be proven and it cannot be unproven. That's them. Okay. And okay, now okay, skeptic posits that one way of avoiding falling into error is to refrain from making any decision at all. That is by being skeptical about all the competing truth claims presented by different religious traditions. So they will not pass any judgment, they will not pass any conclusion on anything, because they cannot prove it, neither can they disprove it. So they will not even pass a comment about it. That's them. That's them. Good. So skeptics argue that to avoid, yes, in religion, this means not fully committing to any particular belief, because each religion makes different truth claims, many of which contradict each other. So, for instance, Christianity teaching that Jesus is the Son of God, whilst Islam teaching Jesus is a prophet but not divine. A skeptic might avoid choosing between these views because they are incompatible, and he can also prove or disprove them. So he will choose to avoid taking a point or taking a place. When you talk of the second point, which is natural skepticism that arises in response to competing and incompatible religious truth claims, can be the perspective of a community, but not the individual. Natural skepticism that arises in response to competing and incompatible religious truth claims can be the perspective of the community, but not the individual. So here we are realizing that there can be individual skepticism and we have community or collective skepticism. Now let's look at the community one. Communities may recognize that there are many religions without conflicting teachings. This can create a general skeptical atmosphere in the society, but this skepticism is not the same as a personal indecision. For instance, in a multicultural town, people may notice the diversity of religious beliefs, and understand that not all can be true in the same way. The town's culture may value questioning and open-mindedness. Individual choice is unavoidable. However, if we're looking at the individual parts, we have to look at the community-wise. We're looking at individual always make personal decisions on whether to affirm a religious belief or be skeptical on such matters. And it's saying that individual choice is unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. Even if someone wants to remain skeptical, that's not to make conclusions or on anything, they still personally make decisions, either to follow a particular religion, to be skeptical in private, or to adopt a non-religious point of view. So they've taken a decision. They are not going to pass judgment or conclusion on it, but their decision is to be skeptical in private, either follow the particular religion or to adopt a non-religious view. So they will still have no option but to take a decision. Skepticism cannot completely remove personal decision making. So no matter how skeptical an individual is, the individual will end up passing what? A decision. For instance, a person raised in a Christian family may hear about Islam. Please mute your microphones. Please mute your microphones. Please mute your microphones. We are almost there. A person raised in a Christian family may hear about Islam and Hinduism and feel skeptical about all religious claims. Eventually, they may personally decide, I will follow Christianity or I will not follow any religion. The act of choosing is unavoidable. Okay. Okay. Now, let's look at this slide. It says, concerning the religious education, scholars argue that while the subjects should remain open to a wide or a range of world views, the individual student would need to make a choice between these for himself or herself. Okay. So, Mr. David, you are to WhatsApp my line so that I will send you the WhatsApp group link. Okay. So that's why I've typed my number in there. So WhatsApp my line. I'll send you the WhatsApp link. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And let's quickly finish this up. Okay, so the first point here is saying that it's open to a range of worldviews, but students must take a choice. This is saying that in religious education, students are exposed to major or many religions, beliefs, and worldviews. Teachers present these naturally, so students understand different perspectives. However, at some point, students are expected to form their own opinion or make a personal choice about what they believe or value. They cannot simply remain completely neutral forever. So an example, a student learns about Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, African traditional religion. Whilst studying, the student may appreciate values in all these religions. But eventually, they might decide to follow Christianity because it aligns with their personal beliefs and life decisions. So no matter the skepticism, they have to make decisions on issues. Okay, the next one is to refuse to discriminate either by accepting everything or by accepting nothing, is to avoid entry into a useful arbit, conventional discussion about religious matters. So with this, it's also saying that refusing to discriminate means saying either I will accept all religions equally or I will reject all equally. This stance avoids the challenge of engaging with a complex, sometimes conventional ideas religion presents. To truly learn, students need to compare questions and sometimes take a position. So, for example, if a teacher talks or a teacher asks which religion's view on life after death makes the most sense to you, saying I accept all religions avoids answering the question meaningfully. Saying I reject all religion also avoids engagement. So one ought to pass a decision. The next point is that the faith aspect of religion makes it very difficult to study it scientifically. Belief system may be very useful, may be very unusual, and people may not be able to understand it. So he says that with this, he's saying that a more thoughtful answer could be, I find the idea of reincarnation in Hinduism interesting because it encourages moral responsibility, though I am still exploring my own beliefs. So religion is based on beliefs, as we all know, not only on facts that can be measured or tested. Because faith is personal and sometimes unusual. It is challenging to analyze religion purely like science. So in summary, religious education encourages exposure to many worldviews, but also personal reflection and choice. Avoiding judgment entirely prevents meaningful engagement. So one ought to pass a decision. And then faith-based beliefs are personal, sometimes unusual and difficult to study using purely scientific method. Okay. So skeptics see the existence of spirits, which forms a strong basis for religious belief, as tentative since empirical data on spirits is not forthcoming. Skeptics are people who question things rather than accept them without proof. So these are what or who a skeptic is. Many religions believe in spirit, souls, or supernatural beings, but skeptics point out that there is no scientific or observable evidence for them. Therefore, they consider these beliefs tentative, not fully proven. That's what it means, and open to questions. Religious skepticism promotes critical thinking, intellectual inquiry, and dialogue about the nature of belief, faith, and the relationship between religion and society. It encourages individuals to question assumptions, challenge dogma, and seek rational justification for their beliefs, contributing to a more open, intellectually rigorous approach to religion. Okay. So we come to the end of this religious skepticism. They are indifferent because this, what basically this session was about, was on religious skepticism. And skeptic are people who always want to agree to something when there's proofs attached to it. And they are saying that when it comes to religion, you cannot analyze it like how you analyze science, because religion cannot be proven, cannot be disproven. Certain concepts cannot be proven, cannot be disproven. But as individuals, they are supposed to make decisions. So they decide to accept them, align with a particular concept, or ignore, or take what no sides at all. So skeptics are indifferent about things which cannot be proven. Okay. Now the last point before we go. Reductionism. Okay. Okay. Reductionism. This is the last one. So please read thoroughly at your leisure time on them. You understand more when you read thoroughly. Okay. So please, when you are free, just after resting for a while, just go back and read thoroughly. Read thoroughly on these philosophies, so that you'll be able to write when it comes to the essay part. When you are quizzed, you'll be able to answer questions pertaining to them, because your quiz is going to cover units 1 to 3, and this is the end of unit 3. So please, now the ball is in your court to learn. Now, let's look at reductionism. Reductionism interprets religious propositions as merely the manifestation of the mind, which can be easily explained in terms of psychology, sociology, or other realms of philosophy and science. So, with religious reductionism, reducing the concept of religion to mere or to explaining the concept of religion using other disciplines. That's what this philosophy is about. So, it's the idea that religious beliefs, experiences, and practices can be fully explained by reducing them to something more basic in the world, like psychology, biology, sociology, or even economics, without considering the deeper meaning or relationship between the religious system itself. So, in simpler terms, reductionism looks at the complex phenomenon like religion and tries to explain it only in terms of smaller, simpler components, often ignoring the full context or the interaction between the components. Okay, so the key points here in this test you're looking at is that everything is usually something else. Those who are believers of this philosophy, everything is always something else. This means that what we see as religion is not taken as a meaningful or unique phenomenon on its own. Instead, it is seen as a result of other basic things. So they always make meaning of religious things using other concepts like sociology, like science, and others to explain. But you end up having a wrong meaning to it because there are different disciplines. So you cannot use one discipline to make exact meaning of a religious concept. As this reductionism disconnects a system into smaller parts to understand it. For example, instead of seeing prayer as a spiritual act, reductionism might try to explain it as a psychological process, trying to make meaning of it in a different context. Again, reductionism also ignores relationship between parts. The holistic meaning of religion, how rituals, beliefs, and community interact, is often ignored by this reductionism because they just take one part of it and then try to explain. But sometimes you are supposed to make meaning of all the units that comes together to make the religious concepts. So example of some of these means by which this adherents or people who believe in this reductionism explain religious concept. They reduce it to psychological aspects, sociological aspect, biological aspect. When they take it from the psychological perspective, like they can have a situation or a scene like people pray because it reduces stress and anxiety in the brain, which you and I will agree to the fact that this is wrong. So people do not pray because it reduces stress and anxiety in their brain. No, they pray because their concept, their understanding of prayer is that it brings them with answers to questions or their needs. But because this religious reductionists are of the view that religion can be best explained when you use other disciplines. So they reduce it to mere concepts and then subject, and then the meaning, the core meaning, loses its value and interest. So at the end of the day, it doesn't become meaningful based on this. They've explained, we'll see the explanation again. For instance, the psychologist, it says people pray because it reduces stress and anxiety in their brain. Does it make sense? No, but that's how he has explained it from a psychological perspective. Looking at a sociological perspective, he says religion exists only to maintain social order and control population. Is it solely their duty? No. Religion goes beyond justice. Biological reductionism. It says religious beliefs are as a result of evolutionary survival mechanism. Is it solely because people practice religion because they want to survive, or they see it as a call on them to practice? In each case, the complex phenomenon of religion is reduced to something more basic: psychology, society, or biology, ignoring the spiritual or the rational meaning that religious practitioners might experience. Because they are not in the field, they will understand it in a different way and interpret it in a different way. So religious reductionism explains religion in simpler terms, but often misses the full richness, meaning, or purpose of religion as experienced by its followers. So reductionism, this is the idea that complex things like religion can be reduced to simpler explanations. In other words, you don't need to accept religion as something sacred or supernatural. Instead, you can explain it in terms of other disciplines. That's their point of view. That's what they believe in. Religious propositions. These are statements or beliefs in religion, such as God exists, prayer brings protection, or there's life after death. These tests cause these cognitive and ontological content of religion. Basically, what people think, cognition, and what they believe as its ontology. Merely the manifestation of the mind. Reductionism sees these beliefs not as an absolute truth about the universe, but as products of human thinking, culture, and evolution. Again, this reductionists would try to explain religion as a human behavior or cultural phenomenon rather than a divine truth. For example, religion satisfies emotional needs. This comes from the psychological perspective. And it's saying that because it's reducing fear of death or giving hope. Sociology, religion helps maintain social order or creates community cohesion. And then, according to these believers, religious belief might have evolved because they helped humans survive. That is, cooperation encouraged by moral code from religion could have increased survival chances. So that's the understanding of why people are surviving. Let's see. All right. Okay. Okay. Now, so still on this reductionism and their concept of how they interpret the world, they do not even pay attention to the confessional approach that an individual will proclaim that my religion is better than yours. No, they don't succumb to that. They are of the view that my religion, you cannot say your religion is better than others because even making meaning of it is a challenge. So why do you say your religion is better than another person? So you can't say that. So they are of the view that religion can be interpreted from different perspectives, and that will make a meaning of what it really is. Okay. So we've come to the end of this session too. Any question? Yes, any question? Any question? All right. In the absence of any question, we've ended the class. And as I said, I'll communicate if I can meet you guys again for the sake of those who missed the first and second units. Okay, so that I'm prepared towards the quiz. But be reading, and then making meaning of the model. You have the model with you. You'll be reading thoroughly and research on concepts regarding them all. So, as I said, be releasing your names and index number on center basis. So if there's a center rep or course rep who will do the compilation, when you start, your colleagues will copy it and then also drop theirs. All right. Madam Winifred, then we end it. Madam Winifred. Madam Winifred. Madam Winifred. If there's no question, then
Hello, sir.
yes,
Hello, sir.
yes,
Hello.
yes, I'm listening.
Listen, I want to know if the quiz.
The quiz will be set by UCCO, not
I
me.
want to know whether it's the quiz it will come in objective form or essay form.
And that one there,
So
I'll
you have
find
no
out.
idea.
Yeah, for now, UCC will set it, but I'll find out. So if I hear anything, I'll let you know. But try and get.
But again,
Yes.
can we share
You are
the
saying something.
recording version?
Pardon me.
Sir,
Yes.
please can we get the recording version of the class?
The college does that, so I'll ask for it and forward it to you. Okay. Hello.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we'll communicate on the page. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hello,
Have
sir.
a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Okay, welcome, madam. Have a nice day. Bye. Okay, we've ended the lecture.
Bye.